Welcome to the Mindset Over Magic podcast. In today's episode, we're diving into a powerful topic, recognizing when it's time to walk away from a relationship that no longer serves you and why honoring yourself even while you're in a relationship is so important. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Jacqueline Shadoff from Beyond Magic. And for 15 years, I've been mastering my spiritual abilities to bring healing and mentorship to those I meet along my journey. I underwent a dark night of the soul, which catapulted me into awakening to my life's true purpose. And now, I empower and teach others to find their own spiritual mastery. This is the podcast where I bring the principles of spirituality, mindset, and resistance to light, which will help you heal your past and karmic imprints so you can finally have the life you desire. And it all starts from within. This is the Mindset Over Magic podcast. Hey everyone, it's Jacqueline Shadoff from Beyond Magic, and this is the Mindset Over Magic podcast. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. This is episode 2, and today we're going to be talking all about relationships. Healthy, unhealthy, and what the heck to do when you find yourself with someone who doesn't have love for you. So this topic has been on my mind for quite some time. I see a lot of people questioning their relationship and kind of just wondering, is this it? Is this their life partner? And I also see people even questioning whether or not they should walk away from a toxic relationship because they feel like they've invested so much into it. So much time, so much money, so much of themselves. So, when is it time to walk away, and how do we know? Well, it's quite simple, actually. When someone doesn't want you, that's your signal to leave and find someone who does. Okay, wait. That's obvious, right? Well, not necessarily. There are micro-rejections that someone might do that signal that they don't want you. But you might just see them as minor things that maybe you can fix. So maybe then you ask, and maybe that asking turns into nagging, and maybe that nagging turns into begging. Well, this happened to me in my 9-year relationship with my ex-fiance. I talked a bit about this in last week's episode, and if you didn't listen to that episode, definitely go back and give it a listen. So the micro-rejections that I'm about to talk about were just so prevalent in that relationship that I had. And when I finally decided to honor myself and leave, things got dangerous. And I talked about that in that episode. But I really wouldn't wish that on anyone, so make sure you pay attention to these micro-rejections and know when to get out early. Love should come easy. You should never have to beg anyone to love you. In fact, never beg anyone to love you at all, because it never works. Okay, I know these words might be difficult to hear, but they are absolutely true. Never beg someone to love you. And also never beg them to do more. Like, you shouldn't have to beg someone or ask them to give you the bare minimum, right? Have you ever begged someone to love you the way you wanted? Or maybe you begged someone not to break up with you. Okay, the problem is, even if they listened to you and changed their behavior, you will realize that this change was only for a short period of time, and they'll eventually go back to doing what they did before. In my experience, I once begged my ex to be accepting of my spiritual beliefs, and I truly thought that he changed. He grew up in a Christian household, and although he wasn't Christian himself, he still adopted many of the beliefs, and he claimed to give spirituality a chance, but I later came to find out that it was all just a lie, just to keep the peace between us. In reality, he had a very negative perception of spirituality and likened it to demonic practices, at best. I have spirit companions attached to porcelain dolls, and I still remember he called them creepy and told me to throw them out. What an incredibly disrespectful thing to say to someone. Near the end, he tried to tell me that he'd give spirituality a real chance this time, because he knew that saying that appeased me once in the past, but he never truly gave it a chance. Only when his comfort, aka being with me, was being threatened, he'd say he'd put in the effort, an attempt, to try something that I've been invested in for longer than he's known me for. So I'm actually going to refer to the divine masculine and the divine feminine counterparts. So when I say the masculine, I don't actually mean men, and when I say feminine, I don't actually mean women. I'm talking about the energies. So anyone in a partnership can be a masculine or a feminine, but typically it would be a male being the masculine and a female being the feminine. An awakened feminine is supposed to empower their masculine counterpart, and an awakened masculine is supposed to lead the feminine counterpart. So, when someone doesn't want you, that is your signal to leave and find someone who does want you and will cherish you. And this isn't just about romantic relationships, right? It's about recognizing your own value and worth in all areas of life. Spiritually, this is a call to honor your divine self. You are a sacred being, deserving of love, respect, and appreciation. Staying in a relationship where these are lacking diminishes your spiritual light and hinders your growth. If you stay in a relationship with someone who doesn't perceive that you have any value, it tricks you. It tricks your own mind. It tricks you into believing that you don't have any value. Sure, it may be comfortable to stay in a relationship like that because it's all you've ever known, but that would be staying stagnant. Like, look at me. I left a 9-year relationship because staying there wasn't honoring myself. It was scary because I didn't know where my life was headed. If I stayed, at least I knew who I'd end up with, right? But my soul didn't want me to settle for complacency. My soul knew I had a bigger purpose to fulfill, and it knew that growing was going to be a big part of that. And I learned this the hard way. Many of us have been there, pouring our hearts into relationships that don't honor our worth. But each experience is a lesson, a stepping stone to greater self-awareness and spiritual growth, just like how it was a lesson for me, a lesson for boundaries, a lesson for learning what my value is, what my worth is, and knowing that I don't have to endure abuse, knowing that I don't need to stay somewhere that is toxic and unhealthy for me just because I feel like I will not find love elsewhere, because that is not love, right? And in the long run, it was the best choice for me to leave. And everyone wants to make good choices in life, right? But no one wants to go through the pain of change. Good choices almost always hurt up front because it forces you to get outside of your comfort zone, to learn and to grow. All of those things alongside change are very scary and very painful, and no one wants to endure things that are painful and scary. Bad choices are comfortable. Bad choices, like settling, feel good right away because you're not doing any learning or growing, but they will hurt you in the long term. They don't allow you to explore the world and discover your soul's true purpose in life. Bad choices are complacent and stagnant. So most people don't walk away from a relationship that no longer serves them because of fear and a desire to avoid the pain that they will go through if they make a good choice by leaving. High-value people, those who are vibrating on a high frequency, they all know when to walk away from a situation that no longer serves them. They know when their energy should be focused elsewhere. They don't linger where they aren't wanted. So how do you know when someone doesn't want you? Well, maybe they won't say it, but you'll see it in their actions. When they don't call you, when they don't text back, when they come home late, when they're not even interested in hearing about your day or simply talking to you. These actions speak volumes. And it's true that actions speak louder than words. These are micro-rejections. They reveal the true nature of a person and how they view others and perceive the world. So if someone stops giving you attention, it's because they're putting their attention elsewhere. They see something else as a priority over you. So, for example, if you are cooking for your boyfriend, cleaning up after him, doing the dishes, laundry, sexual favors whenever he asks, just stop. Why put in more effort when you receive so little in return? This is a tough pill that I had to swallow because that's not a healthy relationship. That's not give and take. That's just you giving and him taking. That's not healthy. And you should know your value and know your worth. You deserve better than someone who keeps you around as an option. Someone who keeps you around as someone who does the laundry and cooks and cleans and does all these things for him. He's keeping you around because of all these things that you're doing to make life more convenient. But he's not doing anything to make your life convenient. He just sees you as making his life convenient. And because you are allowing him to give you the bare minimum, he sees this as a wonderful opportunity for him to get what he wants without giving very much in return. You may ask yourself, how can someone not love and want a woman who does so much for him and loves him so much? Well, the problem is there are a lot of people who take advantage of those who would do this for them. They don't want an equal partner. They don't want a wife. They want a mother. They want someone who will pick up after them and let them do whatever they want. And so many women fall into this trap because as a society, we teach our daughters not to stand up for ourselves and that boys will be boys. But we really need to teach our daughters how to properly set boundaries and stick to them, no matter how much they love someone. And we need to teach our sons to be better and that they will be held accountable for their actions. There is no more boys will be boys. And of course, it does go both ways, so I'm not just saying this for the male population. Everyone needs to be held accountable for their actions, and everyone needs to set and honor their boundaries. And speaking of boundaries, this is a reminder to honor your boundaries. Spiritually, it's all about maintaining an energetic balance. In unbalanced relationships, there is a push and a pull. One person may pull away, and this will trigger the other to cling onto them and do even more due to fears of abandonment. They're thinking like, oh no, they're pulling away, so that must mean that I'm not doing enough to make them happy. So if I do more, then they'll be happy and give me the admiration and validation that I want. No, don't fall into that trap. Don't give away your sacred energy to someone who isn't reciprocating. This usually ends up pushing that person away even more anyway. This also all comes down to avoidant and anxious attachments as well. Those with an avoidant attachment tend to be runners. They will run away, they don't want to talk about their emotions, and those with an anxious attachment tend to be the ones that cling on and chase. The wounded feminine energy tends to be a chaser, and the wounded masculine tends to be a runner. If you find that you or someone else is in this kind of dynamic, then you really need to go within and balance that energy within you. Sometimes when you're stuck in this kind of dynamic, it can be really helpful to remember that if they're not a vibrational match, then they're not a vibrational match, and they're not ever going to be a vibrational match. Like, you can't force it. The universe is always communicating with us, guiding us to what serves our highest good. So people who aren't a vibrational match for you will fall to the wayside in the end. Whether they vibrate out of your life naturally or divine intervention takes them out of your life by some other means, this is just something that will happen no matter what if you're not a vibrational match. You just can't force these things. And no matter what, it's essential to keep your energy clean and clear, focusing on your own life, your own spiritual growth, and self-love. If the dates are dwindling, if he doesn't even want to talk anymore, his mind isn't on you. It's crucial to understand that love is a two-way street. Energetically, both partners must contribute to the flow of love for it to thrive. So I feel guided to facilitate a short breathing exercise kind of meditation to help some of you release that negativity. Please don't listen to this if you're driving or operating heavy machinery. So allow yourself to sit comfortably in your chair and feel yourself relax. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And again, deep breath in and breathe out. On your inhale, imagine that you're inhaling positivity and love and all of those wonderful things you desire in your life. On the exhale, imagine that you're letting go of all doubt and any feelings of unworthiness, guilt, shame, and pain from the past and present. So take another deep breath in and let it out. Take that cleansing breath in and breathe out all that negativity. Feel the divine light within you grow stronger with each breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And now we're coming back. Just remember, you are worthy of love, respect, and commitment. So how can we move forward from here? First, It's important to acknowledge your feelings. It is absolutely okay to feel hurt, disappointed, or even angry. That is 100% valid. These emotions are part of your healing journey. All of them are valid. Allow yourself to feel them, then let them go. Next, you should remember to connect with your spiritual practices. Whether it's meditating, journaling, or working with crystals or something along those lines, these practices help you to realign with your true self. You can even consider doing a simple ritual to release what no longer serves you. Something that I like to do personally is light a candle, write down all the ways that you feel unappreciated or unloved or, any kind of negative feeling, and then you just safely burn that paper, which will allow those energies to be released into the universe so that they no longer bother you. As the paper burns, you just visualize those feelings transforming into light and allow them to come back in to heal your heart. Finally, surround yourself with love. Love that actually feels good for you. Connect with friends and family who uplift you. Engage in activities that bring you joy. And most importantly, love yourself fiercely. Because you are a powerful, divine being, and you deserve a partner who sees you for that and honors you. Like you literally come from stardust. How magical is that? So that's all I have for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me on Mindset Over Magic. And remember, you are worthy of love and respect, and never, ever settle for less. Embrace your spiritual journey and always let your inner light guide you to the love you deserve. Be sure to check out my website, beyondmagic.com, and you can sign up for the priority waitlist of my wonderful 12-week program where I will be coaching a handful of women to overcome mental blocks, pain from the past, and limiting beliefs so that they can rebuild a healthy, loving connection with themselves and unlock their innate spiritual gifts so that they can flourish on their spiritual journey. So the link to my website will be in the podcast notes, and you can also follow me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok to stay in the loop. Catch me back here next week for episode 3 of Mindset Over Magic, and until then, stay empowered and keep shining your beautiful light. I'm your host, Jacqueline Shadoff from Beyond Magic, and I'll talk to you soon.